Postgame live as the Grizzlies fall tonight to the Golden State Warriors 134-125. Steph Curry with a Hall of Fame performance tonight for the Golden State Warriors. Ja Morant wasn't too bad either. Big night for Ja, but just comes up short as Curry and the Warriors get the win 134-125. Tough one tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies as well. You welcome me to Grizzlies Live postgame, presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers, Rob Fisher, Brevin Knight, and Chris Vernon with you. Tough to come in here and talk about this one without saying great game, great excitement, was a lot of fun, but it's another loss.
And it's the most important game of the season up to this point. You know they've got this kind of closer on the other end. And on the Grizzlies side, every possession has to matter on offense and on defense. And all of the little plays, all of the hustle plays are going to make a huge difference in the game. But this guy was just an absolute force of nature. This is one of the best performances in all the years, 20-plus years of coming to games in between the Pyramid and FedEx Forum. This is one of the best performances I've ever seen.
He was terrific. And the thing about it is they do a great job. He does of moving without the basketball, but they also do a good job of setting him up in terms of dribble handoffs. They set great screens for him. And I say that when you allow a player of his caliber to start to have a feel, and they gave him a feel in that first quarter, he scored 19 points, then you're at his mercy for the rest of the night. Well,
and we saw the tandem of him and Butler. You understand why they have the record they do with those guys in the lineup. You know, I think we said 3 of their 5 losses, 1 of the 2 of them have been out. So, I mean, they haven't lost many games when they have had both of those guys in tandem.
And in this basketball game, it was being able to get them off to a good enough start to be able to match what Steph Curry was doing, and he did that. And through the body of the game, whether it was timely baskets that he was scoring, there were some instances that did not result in an assist for him, but the advancement of the basketball up the floor then allowed someone else to make a play. So it was one of those games where you say this is what Ja Morant is capable of doing. The threes he was able to knock down, but it's just infectious when he's on the floor with the way that he plays the game. It's just, as you said, came up a little short because the guy across the way had a Hall of Fame performance.
Well, I think this is what we understand. Like, it's not enough for one of the 3 guys to be great. All 3 of them have to be great simultaneously, yes. Right? When you are playing against good teams. So it's been good to see Morant be able to be back to the kind of guy that can be the best player on the floor for long stretches of time. He's got to get the turnovers down.
Yes.
He's got to get the turnovers down, especially, you know, there are a couple bad ones in crunch time tonight. Like, and these are, you know, when you're coming down to, hopefully the Grizzlies are playing playoff basketball. When we're doing the every possession matters stuff, the leaving the feet and then trying to find somebody, it just not going to work against a good team.
Yeah, had a big night as well. They've been very good since Jimmy Butler got there. Chris, what do you notice different with Butler in there?
Well, I think obviously, look, there's a gravity that goes with Steph Curry, and he makes that a lot harder to deal with because now there was never anybody else to particularly worry about. You remember earlier this year, when we played, all right, fine, throw the ball to Kuminga, throw the ball to Andrew Wiggins, throw the ball to whoever you want to. If they beat us, they beat us. Well, here's another guy that can't beat you, right? Like, you can't do okay, well, we're going to dedicate all of this time and attention to Steph Curry because we don't particularly care if he, look, it's a win if he passes the ball. Well, now it's not a win if he passes the ball because this guy's on his team.
Well, the other thing he brings is another player that has great skill, but also great basketball IQ.
Yep.
So now you put 3 guys on the floor at all times that have great basketball IQs. Steph, Draymond Green, and you add him to that mix, and it gives you another screener on the floor, which makes the matchups a little bit quirky and different because he's really a guard who sets screens like a big man and rolls to the basket as if he's a big man.
It's live post-game. We will take a break, and we'll come back, and we got much, much more for you tonight. Ja Morant had a big night tonight for the Grizz. 36 points, but not enough as the Grizz fall by 9. Ja Morant with the no-look to Jalen Wells. One of Ja's 6 assists to go along with 36 points tonight, but it wasn't enough for the Grizzlies as they fall to the Golden State Warriors 134-125 tonight here at FedEx Forum as the Grizzlies lose for the 4th straight game and lose all 3 here on this 3-game homestand before hitting the road. And he can get you close to a triple-double like he did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's their orchestrator on the floor. I mean, for lack of a term, he's their point guard on the basketball court, and he's the guy that makes it all go. And the thing is, he starts to realize and he knows, I'm going to shoot these threes, but I'm not going to shoot these threes at a critical point. So they all come before the game can be in a deciding factor. But just the passes and the timeliness of his passes, the way that he runs to his guards, knowing that people are sloughed off, to give a dribble handoff, to set a screen, knowing you cannot get back to my guard to get shot. That's the reason why Steph Curry got himself going so early in this game. I mean, his IQ for this team and what he's able to do is off the charts.
Triple-double for Draymond, 13, 10, and 12 in the game. 33rd career triple-double for Draymond Green as he gets it tonight. He, along with Jimmy Butler, but Steph Curry, all having huge nights for the Golden State Warriors. So let's hear from the Grizzlies head coach, Tomas Iisalo, after the Grizzlies fall tonight to the Golden State Warriors, 134-125. Here is Coach Iisalo.
The fact that we need to find a way to be a little bit better and find a way to win. I would say the beginning of the game was not great for us. We did not do a great job of apparently presenting the game plan or executing it, or probably both. So we will do better next time. And overall, like you said, there's no moral winners in sports. It's a zero-sum game, and we will do everything we can now to rest after this very physically and emotionally very tough stretch. Obviously, the 3 games and everything that's been going on, and once again, it's very hard to ask anything more from our guys. They're leaving it all out on the floor on a back-to-back. That type of competitiveness, camaraderie on the court. They're really doing everything right, and they deserve a reward for it. But unfortunately for us, it wasn't in these first 3 games. But heading into the next game, we do everything we can in the meantime to make that happen.
Coach Iisalo talking about some of the things that are going right, some of the things going wrong during this 4-game losing streak and the 3 games that he's been in charge. And one thing that's been common, though, in these 3 games has been fourth quarters. Fourth quarters, Grizzlies not only outscored in those fourth quarters, turning the ball over in the fourth quarter, 5 more tonight for 10 points, the conversion rate. And then one guy for the Grizzlies who, this is the second time in the last 3 games we've said he had a really good game if he could have only been on the floor more. Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I know he'd like to have those 3 wide open corner threes back as well. And again, it was the foul trouble. I mean, he had the 2 early ones that sent him to the bench. Then, he left him out there with the 5 for quite a while. It got some shots to go down a little bit later in the game, but I know he probably wishes he had a better offensive game tonight. But the biggest thing is, look, he's a +5 on the box score. You got to have him in a game like this. He's got to be playing 35 minutes instead of 30, and it might have been the difference in the game.
Well, we said your best ability is availability.
Yep.
And for him, it is just a matter of getting back to cutting out the fouls that are unnecessary. The unnecessary, there are going to be times in the game where you have to take fouls, and you have to be there for your team, and you may just be in a tough spot. But the ones that are totally in your control, he has to do a better job of controlling himself so that he is available for this team.
Zach Edey had a big double-double for Big Maple here tonight. And Zach, 16 rebounds and 4 block shots.
Well, this is 2 of the teams that you have played, both the Warriors and the Lakers, that don't have big guys. And he's got to be an advantage against the teams that don't have big guys. Somebody like the Celtics, he wasn't an advantage against the Celtics because they've got down low, they've got guys they're playing out there, and they've got 5s that are stretching you all the way out to the 3-point line. But against teams like this, he forced Kerr to match up with him,
right,
rather than the other way around. You have to be so dominant on the boards and by the basket that you make them match up with you rather than you feeling like we can't match this size-wise, right? Yeah. Use the size to your advantage. I think you just invented it.
Thanks, BK. We'll take a break. Chris and I will come back and wrap things up from FedEx Forum. Grizzlies fall tonight to the Warriors, 134-125. We're back after this. Welcome back to Grizzlies Postgame Live. Steph Curry doing it in the Grizzlies tonight with a big performance. 52 points, had 19 in the first quarter, had 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals as well. Incredible performance with 31 shots, going 16 of 31 from the field, 12 of 20 from three-point range. Steph Curry became the oldest player in NBA history to have a halftime stat line of 35 and 5. Which is what he had here tonight. So let's hear from Steph Curry. Steph, last time in FedEx Forum, had 2 points. Not tonight.
Actually, it wasn't.
Really? Come on.
I told you I got amnesia.
Yes.
That's why you keep shooting. But thanks for reminding me. Obviously, this is a different part of the year, different team, different stakes on the line, and for us to start the way we did. That's the most important thing against Memphis. When we get off the slow starts, they get to control the tempo. They have us reeling, and then it's usually never a good outcome. So we were very intentional in that first quarter. Obviously, shots got to fall, but that set the tone for the whole game.
Most games with 10 or more three-pointers, including tonight. Steph Curry has 27th. Second on the list is Klay Thompson with 9. One other note that is pretty remarkable. Most 50-point games in Warriors franchise history. Steph Curry, number 15 tonight, just past Rick Barry, who had 14. Wilt Chamberlain had 105 50-point games. Quite remarkable. But it was a show. We almost had the perfect scenario. Watch a Hall of Fame performance and get the home team win.
And the Warriors went small as well.
Yeah.
Don't quite have that same amount of size. And you hear the cheers for fans here to watch Steph. And he was 2 3 shy of tying the NBA record. He made 12 threes in this building tonight. The NBA record is 14. He and Jimmy Butler combined for 79 points for the Warriors. And that's where I thought the balance from the Grizzlies was really promising. 6 players in double-figure scoring after there's been some issues with consistency. But you have Ja, Jaren, and Dez all in double figures. Zach Edey had a great game, 10 points. 16 rebounds for Zach. He had a couple nice dunks off the pick and roll finishes with Ja. They just come up short tonight.
It feels like right now the Grizzlies are, what I thought of is Greg Popovich has a saying in the locker room in San Antonio. It's about pounding the rock, and it's about a stonecutter hitting the rock again and again, not knowing when the rock's falling in a crack. And that's what the Grizzlies feel like right now. They're just trying over and over and over and over, and they're getting closer. And tonight was the closest we've seen them get. But they can't quite break through, and maybe that comes in the next week.
Right. But like you said, they fall to the 6th seed with the loss tonight. Warriors jump ahead of them into 5th. Every single game from here on out is a big one. It's critical come standing times in the Western Conference playoffs. The Grizzlies now hit the road for 3 straight games. We'll see it when they return to FedEx Forum. This has been your Grind City Rewind.
Thank you very much, Jess and Lang. Appreciate it. And, yes, every game is the next big one now for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, there's no question. And we've talked about, I told you with 9 games left, I thought they needed to win 4 of those. The 48 was the number. Well, we're 3 in. So now you got to win 4. You still got to find 4. And you got 6 left, right?
Yeah.
So you got 6 left, so you got to go 4-2 now.
All right. Well,
the rest of the way.
Here's what we got coming up for the Grizzlies. Those are the final 6. 3-game road trip at Miami, at Detroit, and at Charlotte. Home against Minnesota, at Denver, and a strange back-to-back there, a bad back-to-back there. And then finish off the regular season against the Dallas Mavericks on Sunday, April the 13th. So 2 at home, 4 on the road on these final 6 games.
Well, and there's a huge game tonight. The Timberwolves are the other team that is behind you in the standings. They're in a 1-point game with the Nuggets now going into halftime in that game. And so we become Nuggets fans.
That's right.
Right? Because the Wolves are another team trying to track you down. So you just want to do everything you can to stay out of that play-in.
If you just feel like if you can find a win, it'll change the mood.
That's right.
Hopefully in the next one against Miami on Thursday.
I mean, you have done very well against teams under 500 this year. You've got 2 more games against teams under 500. You have got to get those.
Yeah, 2 of them on this 3-game road trip with both Charlotte and Miami on Thursday is when the Grizzlies fall tonight to the Golden State Warriors. 134-125 is the final score. Grizzlies have lost 4 straight games, and they've lost 4 of 5. Here on the home floor. 134-125. Steph Curry led the way, led all scores. He had 52 tonight to go along with 10 rebounds and 8 assists. Ja Morant led the Grizzlies with 36 points and 6 assists. We'll be back with you Saturday from Detroit Until then, good night, everyone.